A lot of people I know are getting sick lately. I remember during the lockdown several years ago, I made several videos and my stance is still somewhat the same. I wasn't really bothered by the social isolation part of the lockdown. Like at that time period in my life, I was home all day anyway. So my social life was on the internet. When everyone was sad and frustrated that they couldn't go outside or hang out and they had to social distance and all this stuff, I didn't relate at all. And someone brought up a point to me that I didn't really think about though. But even though the lockdown separated us, it brought people together. Really think about it. For a period of time when everyone was getting sick and places were shutting down and you were told to stay inside, social distance, etc., during that time period, it didn't matter what your status was in society. Everyone was facing the same threat. We had everybody had the same enemy. And it humanized a lot of people, because a lot of people in the public eye, you don't really see their fears or worries. You just see what they have in society. You just see how they act when they're outside, unless they express it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, cause some people, they don't show their emotions in public like that. They don't show what they're thinking about. They don't really, et cetera, et cetera. But during this time period, you saw a lot of people being vulnerable and showing their true colors to how they act in moments of fear, confusion, and when faced with the threat. It brought us together because this was mostly universal. People coming together worried about them losing their job, having health scares, and how to deal with isolation. And then you saw similar things from even celebrities or social media figures who never showed vulnerabilities on their like channel or whatever, right? Now you're starting to see collective empathy in society. It also created division though, because I remember people were arguing over the mask and the ethics of the lockdown, politics, and so forth. But regardless of what side you picked, right, or what side you were on about that, those people came together. You know what I'm saying? Even if they had differing ideologies from the foundation, they came together to approach the threat humanity was facing. Remember when I said my social life was on the internet? But you know what? Here's the thing about that. It brought a lot of people together online too. People were gaming more. Discord servers were getting more active, and it felt, as somebody who was spending their social life on the internet, it felt nice to see more people in this environment. Even people who don't use social media started using social media, hopping on Discord and stuff like that. Now, it was crazy. Normal people were using Discord for like classes, meetings, or if they weren't using Zoom, they were using Discord or something. And it was something interesting to see. This raw version of humanity, even though people were going crazy, that's part of the raw humanity. What we saw and experienced is something hopefully we won't ever see again, right? In a negative way. But if you think about it, I like seeing human experiences from people we don't really see human experiences from. It makes everything feel more relatable. I obviously don't want this to happen again because a lot of people got robbed out of several years of their life. Some people are not even the same anymore since the lockdown. I'm gonna be for real. I know some people who they had a normal social life before the lockdown, and even years after, they rather stay at home now. Like they had an explosive social life, and now they just, you know what I'm saying? And it's not because they're afraid of getting sick still years later, but it's because it just rewired their brain. It just rewired their activities. And a lot of people are not going outside anymore. So it's like a domino effect. You don't see any people outside like that anymore because a lot of people are like, they just rather go inside ever since the lockdown and changed what they're interested in and stuff. And now it's like, I don't want to go outside either because no one's outside. And what I think happened was when the lockdown happened, people got so glued onto social media and they started developing like an internet social life where they can't even recover from it. It's like part of their free time now. It's part of their day. The world does feel, I don't know how I should say this. The world feels like less alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Everything just feels much more dry now, socially speaking. Over the past few years, my social life has transitioned from the internet to real life. And even in real life, people are more indoorsy now. People have very short social batteries now, like you can't really hang out all the time. You know what I'm saying? I still have a very short social battery myself, but man, people who are completely just, like people who I knew who spent their whole life having a social life in real life, they were social butterflies. They just get drained so quickly now and rather spend time alone in most cases. I think the amount of loners in society has skyrocketed since then. So yeah, even though it did bring people together and even though it showed how human a lot of people are, which a lot of people, they don't really show they're human out there. Uh, I think it was good for a lot of people to see, but it also showed the worst parts of people, you know? But that's what I mean about how it showed raw humanity. People aren't hiding behind their jobs or their social status or their money, nothing. We all had to face something, and we saw how humanity reacted. So even after, it's sad. It destroyed a lot of us to the point of no recovery. Hopefully, it never happens again. How do you guys feel? Are you guys recovering still from the lockdown, socially at least? Any lingering effects? Let me know down below. This episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. I'm out.